Hey everybody, we are live back at the Kitchen Dad's Kitchen. Now I love cucumbers, I don't know if you do, but I love them. And that's one of the things my kids actually eat, so I try to come up with a lot of different recipes that I can use cucumbers in. About a year ago we were traveling, visiting some friends. We stopped at a Thai restaurant and they had this awesome little cucumber salad. So I thought about it for like a year. I think about food like that for a long time. And I finally recreated the salad. It's one of my favorites. I make it a lot. It's light. It's super great for the summer when it's warm out. And so let's just get to it. First thing we want to do is you want to use one big English cucumber, right? Or if you don't have an English cucumber, you want to use a cucumber that doesn't have a lot of seeds in it. It has more flesh. And then we need to shred this cucumber. Now, you know, I have a little shredder or, you know, a hand mandolin. That'd be great. I know a lot of you don't. So the old box grater works great. You know, you can either have a box grater or, you know, or just a stand grater like this. But this just works great. We're going to want to cut this into some sections. And when you grate it, we want long strips. So we don't want it this way, we want it this way, and we want to start at the top. You know, a lot of times we're grating, we do fast because we want to grate it, but here we want long strips. So we're going to go down and we're going to give it some long strips. Now, when you got to go slow if you're using a box grater. You don't want to grate your fingers. And if it gets to be hard, you can just turn it on the side. All right. And when you get near to the end, just eat it for yourself. Now, I know having you watch me grate cucumbers is high on your bucket list. So what I did is I grated some of this in advance. Now here's a little tip. If you have the time, once you grate your cucumbers, salt them a little bit and then put them in a colander or something that would drain, and it'll drain some of the water out. I mean, look at this. Look how much water we get out of these things. It'll make your salad less watery and better. And you can do this for any cucumber dish. Anytime you use cucumbers and you want to get some of that water out. All right, so now we need 1/4 of a sweet onion. You can use sweet onion, you can use red onion. This is a monster onion here. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this a couple different times. And if you're good with the knife, right, you can cut it. You want it as thin as possible. I've got this little hand mandolin. I think it's actually from my mom. It's probably about 50 years old. It still keeps on going, and it just cuts and cuts and cuts. Uh-oh. I say that, and what does it do? Not cut. Let's try it this way. There we go. I think I've got a little too thin. There we go. All right, you know what? I take it back. This onion is a little rubbery, so I'm gonna do this by hand. I'm gonna cut it in half, and I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Nice thin strips. Take your time. All right. So we have some onions. You can see they're nice and thin. We're going to break these up and we're going to put them into our bowl. And now we have 2 scallions. I kind of like it because the onion, the red onion, or if you have a Vidalia or something, is kind of sweet. And the fact that we're adding a different onion to it, which is a little more pungent, gives a nice difference between the 2 flavors. We again want to cut these really, really thin. And normally we would stop about here on a lot of dishes, but on this dish, we're going to go all the way. We're going to go all the way up to the green, of course, until the green gets a little icky or brown. All right. We're going to add it into our bowl. All right, we're gonna take this bowl and we're gonna make our dressing. Dressing's super simple. You should have most of these ingredients around the house we're gonna take and we are going to use 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. If you don't have rice wine vinegar, that's okay. You can just use regular vinegar. Then we're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of fish sauce. We're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of a light oil. So something like something that's not flavored. I just use a very light olive oil, but you look for something that really is kind of light and not flavored. We're gonna go with 2 tablespoons of honey. Now, if you wanna make this recipe low carb and keto, instead of using honey, I would use some stevia or some swerve, and you can use it in place of that. We've got a tablespoon of fresh squeezed lime juice and a 1/4 teaspoon of red chili flakes. The really chili flakes, it's not too hot, but it gives a nice little spice against some of the lime juice and some of the acid of the vinegar. All right, we're gonna add in a little salt, 1/4 teaspoon, and a little pepper to taste, about a 1/4 teaspoon. Not too much because we have the red pepper flakes, but I like the 2 types of pepper in it. We're gonna whisk this all together. If you don't have a whisk, you can use a fork. Then we're gonna pour it over our cucumbers. Then we're gonna mix this thing up. I just love this salad. It's just very crunchy and light, and there's so many different flavors, and the freshness of the cucumber goes well against the fish sauce and some of the other things. I could probably eat this every day all summer. I'm gonna plate this up. This is great to go with a piece of fish or some chicken, some shrimp. All right. And there you go. You know, I don't know the name of this. So if anybody who, I don't know the name of this. I lost some of my sauce. So if anybody out there knows what this salad is or the name of the salad, I'd love to know. Put it below in the comments. But it's one of my favorites. I think you should try it. It might become one of your favorites too. Why don't you guys just keep on cooking?